One of Europe's all-time greats, Vassilis Spanoulis, left Athens and his hometown fans with Panathinaikos to make the step up to the NBA, figuring his emotions, energy and overwhelming confidence would carry him straight to the top of the game's biggest stage. Yet instead, he was locked in head coach Jeff van Gundy's doghouse and couldn't understand why the Houston Rockets worked so hard to get him. Spanoulis' NBA story is like a Greek tragedy that ended up him being unable to live in the States, although that might have been a comfortable excuse. And although Spanoulis played just 32 games in the league, the history of basketball is probably happy that the guard decided to call it quits on the NBA and return to Europe. There, he blossomed into an absolute legend who Giannis Antetokounmpo labeled as the Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant of Europe, and who didn't become just Giannis' idol, but a huge role model for a young Slovenian boy named Luka Doncic. Spanoulis might have been drafted by the Dallas Mavericks as the 50th pick in 2004, but he was instantly traded to the Houston Rockets, and the Texas side worked hard to get the Greek guard nicknamed Kill Bill to the NBA. Spanoulis had a great debut season in the Euroleague with Panathinaikos, who got $35,000 as a buyout from the Rockets. Spanoulis went to Houston to join Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady and, in his mind, put the Rockets over the top. But injuries caught up to Yao. McGrady wasn't fully healed from the prior season, and Spanoulis felt at one point that he had hit rock bottom. The 22-year-old future European legend wasn't shy about his struggles. He believed that coach Van Gundy was trying to change him from a penetrating creator into a spot shooter. Or as Spanoulis himself said, it's like asking a doctor to be a lawyer. Spanoulis' time with the Rockets raised questions. Did Houston even know what kind of a player he was, and if so, what on earth were they thinking, making him someone who more often than not ran from one quarter to another and waited for the ball? This was the same player who scored 22 points and helped Greece beat Carmelo Anthony's and LeBron James's USA in the 2006 World Cup, just a few weeks before the NBA season. Truth be told, the answer is that Van Gundy had no idea what kind of a player Spanoulis was. The coach said in an interview that the Rockets were going to play Spanoulis off-ball, as that's where he's played the majority of the time in the past. Sure, Spanoulis wasn't a classical point guard before his NBA season, but he sure as hell wasn't a pure off-ball player either. To be honest, the first red flag regarding Spanoulis' and Van Gundy's relationship rose in the summer of 2006. Van Gundy told that the NBA is too good to be an easy ride for any young player. Spanoulis responded that he wasn't worried, and that basketball is basketball, no matter where you play. Van Gundy was worried by that response. Spanoulis played in just 18 of the Rockets' first 41 games, shooting 31.1% from the field and had 20 assists and 18 turnovers. The European couldn't understand how he could get better if he doesn't play. Yet there were many reasons for Van Gundy not to give the rookie too many chances. Houston was fighting for home court advantage in the playoffs and missed out on the 4th spot by just one win. That season was ever important for the coach as it was his last year of the contract and the Rockets had to be successful in order for Van Gundy to continue with the team. And then we get to the on-court stuff. Spanoulis played just 32 games in the league, shooting 17.2% from beyond the arc and averaged just 2.7 points and 0.9 assists per game on 31.9% field goal shooting. You don't have to be a basketball fan to understand that the numbers were bad. But then again, Spanoulis wasn't used to his strengths and his confidence was shattered, so it's no wonder that the Spanoulis we saw in Greece and in the World Cup vanished. In the end, there was no surprise that Spanoulis left the Rockets after just a season, but even his departure was made into some kind of a show. While the Rockets GM Daryl Morey said the club wants Spanoulis back, the Greek agent Misko Raznatovic spoke how Spanoulis told the Rockets 10 times that he is not coming back. Spanoulis sold everything he had in the States and Raznatovic couldn't comprehend how the Rockets couldn't understand that Spanoulis wasn't bluffing. According to the agent, Spanoulis had said that he just couldn't live in the States, and although he was very happy when he signed the contract, he didn't want a single second more after less than a year in Houston. Spanoulis explained that cutting his NBA stint short was a matter of going back home. He added, "I'm very close with my family. I prefer to be with my family than to play in the US. It is very difficult for me to make that step, to be away from them and live there. From the basketball side, I had a very tough season with Jeff. Now, this is the past. I respect all the people there, but I cannot come back. There's another interesting nuance that is not often seen but tells a lot about how serious Spanoulis was to ending things with the Rockets. He repaid the $35,000 buyout the Rockets paid Panathinaikos to get him to the NBA. Eventually, Spanoulis was traded to the San Antonio Spurs, who wanted him to stay in the league, but eventually released Spanoulis so he could go back to Greece where he was loved and respected. We could make a whole video or two about what happened to Spanoulis when he came back, but to save time, let's wrap things up like this. Spanoulis won Euroleague titles, MVP honors, and he's the Euroleague's all-time leading scorer. Not a bad career for an NBA flop.